What's up, everybody? I'm glad you're back with my story times that I'm currently doing. I thought about maybe doing a story time every day or every other day, and then maybe once a week come up with a current event that's going on, either in my city or just in general. I did make a video on movie reviews and two movies that I did watch, and I talked a little bit about them. I do have to edit that video and kind of put what movie I told about, and put like a clip up there, or like what it looks like of the movie that I'm talking about. And so I still have to do that. I'm gonna probably work on that either today, tonight, or here in a few days. But tonight, this morning, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a story that I was involved in back in Philadelphia before I moved here to Arkansas. So it had started when I hung out with these guys, and it was probably early 2000s, late 90s, and I started hanging out with them, and what became a fight later wound up being like kind of being friends and things like that. And I wound up becoming friends with their brothers, and it was kind of cool. It was definitely different. I didn't think that was going to land the way it did. And I'm actually I'm friends with one of the guys still to this day. He wasn't around a whole lot when I hung out with the guys. He was kind of like a mysterious person, but he, I don't know what he does. I think he's in construction now, so he's doing good for himself. But the other guys, I don't know where they are. But we get into it. So it started, like I said, where I saw these group of guys, and they're skateboarding, graffitiing, smoking, if you know what I mean, what they're smoking, the green. And I thought I was a badass, and I thought I was, like, I just had this little chip on my shoulder. And so I came out to where they were, and I don't know why, I guess I didn't want them around my neighborhood, so I was like, get on out of here. I was like, if you don't get out of here, we're gonna fight. I was like, fight me. That was the dumbest thing I've ever said. And if you know me, you'll probably be like, yeah, I believe that 100%. And so I wound up afterwards becoming friends with them. They came walking down my street, and I went out. I was like, hey. And they were like, what? I was like, hey, like, I'm sorry. I yelled out at you. That was immature of me, yada, yada, yada. And so they said, okay. They're like, meet us up at the corner tomorrow and bring $10. I was like, okay. So I brought $10 the next day at the corner, and we met, and they took me out and we smoked. And they were like, yeah, they're like, you're cool. They're like, just don't be like doing that. They're like, you're lucky that it wasn't other people. They could have like really hurt you. I was like, yeah. And so we hung out, and we, skateboarded, we smoked a lot, we hung up on the railroad tracks there in Northeast Philadelphia. And one night, they wanted to go driving somewhere, and they invited me. And I said, okay, that's fine, we'll go. So we get into this one guy's car, Vince's car, and I can't remember if it was a Firebird or a Thunderbird. It was white. It was a sports car, and so it was tiny. There was enough room There's a 2-door, enough room for the driver, the passenger, and maybe 2 people in the back. But I think we wound it up cramming like 4 people back there, 3 to 4 people back there. And so we go out in this car and we're driving around. And at this time, I think we picked up some stuff to smoke, and we were trying to find a place to like go to actually smoke and enjoy ourselves. And we found a place, and it was a big parking lot that went through this apartment complex, and then up against this wall, the wall was the back of this other apartment complex. And so we were kind of like in there, and we were parked amongst the cars that were back there too. And so we were smoking, and we had the windows rolled up, and one of us thought it was a good idea to have Vince drive around in circles and open the windows and make it like a cloud twisting, and see what, I don't know whose idea that was. Obviously it wasn't a good idea because we caused so much noise that the cops came. And so they came, and the one officer he comes up to the door, he goes, "Hey, like, how can I help you guys? Like, what are you guys doing?" And a buddy of mine, I want to back up. So before we saw the cop come in, we stopped and we pulled, into the driveway or the parking spot. We chilled, and I guess one of the neighbors or the people in the apartment complex called the cops on us. And so we were hanging out, and we saw these bright lights come into the parking lot, and it was a cop. So we were like talking with each other, and we're like, "Hey, what we're gonna say is that our car broke down, and we're waiting for our friend to come," and stuff like that. So he comes over, the officer comes over, and he's like, "Hey, like, what are you guys doing back here?" And immediately he was like, "Hey, like, whose car is this?" And Vince goes, "It's my car." He's like, officer goes, "Let me see your driver's license." He's like, "I'll be back." But before he leaves, he kind of comes back. He's like, "Either one of y'all been in jail?" He's like, had this big flashlight shining in our faces. He's questioning all of us. He gets to me. He's like, "What about you? You look really young. What's your name?" I told him. And he goes, "You ever been to jail?" I'm like, No, I haven't." He's like, "All right, I'll be back." And at this point, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to go to jail. Either my parents are going to bail me out, or they're going to leave me in there so I can have a lesson to be taught. But he comes back, and his demeanor changed. He goes, okay, he's like, "I need y'all to just get rid of what you're smoking and get out of here." He's like, here's your driver's license. And he's like, "You're lucky because you're the son of," I think it was either the mayor at the time or someone close to the mayor. It was the congressman or something, I don't know, of Philadelphia. And I guess at that time I didn't know, so I was like, "Oh, well, he got us out, that's cool." So the officer's like, "I'm just going to give you guys a warning. Y'all need to get out. I don't want to ever see you guys around here anymore." So that happens, and we left. And the next day, I was sitting on my steps, and I saw Vince drive by, and he kind of like did this number, like, "Come here." So he parked down the street a little bit. He goes, "Hey, did you go back and find the rest of the stuff that we put out last night?" I go, "No." He was like, "Man," he was like, I think I might have lied and was like, "Yeah, I went back and I couldn't find it." I don't know. Like, I remember something like that. There was some kind of like bickering going on at that time between me and him. And so he finally got disgusted. He was like, "You know what, that's cool. I'll just go back." He's like, "I'll see you later." So I was like, "All right." So that was that. And then he know what really happened after that. I guess he found it, or I don't know what happened after that, but that was that. So that was the story of me almost being what I thought was going to jail that night. I didn't have any idea what was going to happen, but at that point, I was very lucky and I got out. And, I happened to be with the congressman's son, or the mayor's son, or someone close to the mayor, his son. And the officer said, hey, good thing that your father is someone important. He's like, I'm not going to do anything. So I'm just going to let you guys off with a warning. So that was that night. There are more stories I'm going to tell you. I think I'll leave you off with a paranormal story before I leave. So there's this one night I was working at my clinic, and I left for lunch, and I came back, and I always look at the parking lot. I always scope it out, make sure there's nobody there. And it's rare there could be a car parked, by the building, or someone walking around, and it's normal, it happens because there's a walking trail nearby. So, but this was later at night. This was like around 10, 11, 12 a.m. I think it just happened to turn 12 a.m. And when I come into the building, to the clinic, there is a long hallway, and I enter in the employee entrance in the back. And so against the wall, there's all these doctor's offices. And I come in, and I was feeling kind of froggy at that time. And so every doctor's office I would go by, I would jokingly say, oh, hi, doctor. Hello, doctor. What's going on, doctor? What are you up to, doctor? And of course, no one was here at this point. And so I said, okay, I'm just going to kind of stop. And as soon as I stopped, I heard someone clear their throat. And I was like, oh no, there's somebody here. And in my mind, I had thought he was probably doing that. This individual was doing that to let me know that there was someone at the clinic, to where I wasn't supposed to make any noise. So I kind of got embarrassed and I hid. And on my way to going to this area to hide until they left, I started hearing the voice the throat being cleared. And probably about the third or fourth time, I started, it just dawned on to me. I started thinking about the parking lot, the building, and I'm like, there's nobody here. I mean, it's rare that a doctor or nurse will come back, but not that late. And if that does happen, it's probably winter break, summer vacation, where the doctor would bring his family and he would do some work, and they would stay in that area for an hour and then leave. So that didn't happen that night. And so I got real dizzy and real overwhelmed at that point. And the last throat clearing I heard was a little longer. It was a kind of stern. And so I thought to myself, I'm going to look around. I don't know what I'm going to find, but I'm going to look around. So I go up and down all the halls. I check in the offices. I check in the exam rooms. I check in the lobby. I check everywhere. Not a soul can be found. So I don't know what it was. If I was just really tired that night, I don't know. But I remember clearly being in a state where it was quiet, and I thought to myself, wow, there's nobody here. And at that moment, I heard it again. I heard the throat clearing noise. And so still to this day, I don't know what it is. At times, I will get a sensation of someone looking into the room at me while I'm doing my work. This one time, I was coming out of the room backwards, and I kind of stopped because you know how if someone comes behind you, if you're in the hallway and it's kind of tight, you have that like feeling where you have to like move up, or like, you know, you say excuse me, or oh so sorry. Well, that's how I felt coming out of this particular room, and thinking I was going to see a doctor or a nurse, because they usually come into the clinic, and I, you know, kind of mind my business, but they say hi to me and things like that. So I said, I said to myself, well, they're probably just busy. They're probably on their phone or something like that. And, you know, they didn't see me. So I went to go move up, and I looked this way. No one was over here. And I happened to look this way, and no one was over on my side, my right side. So I don't know what that was. I don't know. I just have weird experiences sometimes. And it's rare, but I do have them, and I don't know if it's just because there's so much energy in the clinic to where, you know, when people leave, that energy is still pulsating throughout the clinic and throughout the, you know, different parts of the clinic, different areas, and then I'm there by myself, so it's still going on. I don't know, like, I don't know what kind of scientific approach I could give it. I could, you know, say what it is, but it's probably just the lighting and the electricity in the building. So much of it with the computers and the lights, I don't know, but that could be a high EMF field, electrical magnetic field. That's what it's called. So I mean, it I don't know, with a clinic and with a building of that size and that energy going on, it could be that, to where it's, you know, putting off that much energy. But I just wanted to make a fast story. I made a fast story and it turned into a long story. So if you like my stories, hit me up, give me a like, follow my page. I'm going to be putting this on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and I'll have more stories to come. So enjoy yourself. And don't forget to close the door. All right, guys. Enjoy yourselves.